Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time to watch some Saturday morning React-TOONS featuring Robotech. Specifically, we'll be watching episode 31, KHYRON'S Revenge. Seems promising, as Chiron is one of my very favorite characters in this show. Friends, before we get started, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted next time we go live with Saturday morning React-TOONS or any of our sci-fi content. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon is in the description. But friends, all that's then. This is now. And now it's time to watch Robotech for Saturday Morning React-TOONS, episode 31, KHYRON'S Revenge. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Hey everybody, you know I'm a fan of TTRPGs. Great news. Strange Machine Games is actually running a Kickstarter for their Robotech RPG right now. I put the link in the description. I highly recommend going and checking it out. Even if you're not a fan of some of the future elements of Robotech, right now they're offering Robotech, the Macross saga, their core rulebook, as part of the bundle for the Kickstarter. It's a great deal, friends. I highly recommend checking it out. And if you see it and if you like it, come back here and tell me, because I might want to run some of this in the future and maybe put it up on the channel. Maybe you can fly. Friends, let's figure out what we can do. Go check it out. But right now, enjoy Robotech. Fanfare! You know what? I was thinking about this in between whenever I had watched the last one, Viva Maria, and now, you know, this stretch is probably like the longest that I've experienced, like a culmination of what you would assume would be the end of the story with the great big battle in Force of Arms. And now you kind of have like this really long drawn out, here's what happens after war type of thing. We've still had skirmishes and military stuff going on. But at the same time, this is like the longest kind of goodbye I've ever had for characters like this, where it's like, you know, we're heading towards the end, but it's a real kind of weird way to kind of go, not weird, just different, you know. It keeps you on your toes a little bit because you're not expecting it. It's a different story structure, you know. It's interesting. But, oh, excuse me. Haven't seen the bridge crew for a while either. Kim, Vanessa, and Sammy. They're some of my faves. We have no SDF1 anymore. They're like analysts or some shit somewhere. Apologies to all the analysts out there.
Captain Global ordered his troops to accompany Bretai on a unique mission. They were to persuade the remaining Zentradi stationed at a remote Robotech factory to join them in their quest for freedom.
Or die.
Roger, Tower, awaiting your count. Cleared to pad 1-7.
On my count. 5.
They literally stole an entire asteroid satellite station that's like the size of Earth.
Admiral Global is well aware of the Robotech factory's capability to manufacture desperately needed weapons.
They're perfectly in sync.
Units 159 to 165 are online for radio crypto equipment encoding.
Interesting, so they're making a shitload of battle pods.
Warning, shutdown. Warning, damage.
Sidetrack computer and go to manual protocol to shutdown.
The Robotech equipment is down again. The situation as it stands now is desperate.
It always is desperate or dire.
When can you start operating again?
I'm afraid the situation is worse than first thought. We may be down permanently.
Uh-oh.
Our defense depends on continued operation.
Well, I mean, Exodor can't... Exodor's like, do you want me to lie to you, or...?
Why do you think this clone will be different than the others that have been generated and failed? Such insolence! Have you forgotten the basic matrix generation process and our time requirement? If there is a failure, we can try again with the remaining tissues.
Oh, so, yeah, I was going to say, it looks like a brain.
In the tank. And how
And that
many of
skull
us do you
looks like
think
a
will survive the
jack-o'-lantern.
trip to Earth? It is my judgment that we proceed. All right.
I'm not sure I want to see that with flesh on it.
And we have no choice but to proceed with your new plan.
So then, we begin the trip under impulse power and rely on the cell tissue to complete our mission.
After all, look at what is left of their culture. Observe and survey the remnants of their once great civilizations. We must have the protoculture furnace if it has not been destroyed.
So they're heading there on impulse. How long does that take?
So, even if it takes 20 years and the last developing clone from our tank, we have no choice but to proceed.
Oh, it's cool. They have like a group of 3 younger ones, 3 middle-aged, and 3 older.
Meanwhile, the quest for peace on Earth becomes more desperate.
Veritech Squadron Leader, we have a disturbance in New Detroit City.
Oh, New Detroit.
With the Veritech fighters on the way to handle a seemingly routine disturbance, the severity and magnitude of the chaos in New Detroit City continues to increase.
They've stolen the protoculture chamber. Stop them!
Protoculture chamber.
Quick, get the laser sentry post right away!
Dear God, guys, we need to take some marksmanship classes.
We're over the disturbance now, Control. I see them.
Left wing, go in low and give him a warning.
Roger.
Okay, man, let's go.
Go in low and drop a bomb on them. It's over.
Watch out! That one's going to hit us! Shoot him!
I got all my teeth knocked out of my head. Oh my God. Is that the thing that makes them Micronians?
It's useless to resist. You're completely surrounded. You must understand that what you've done is unacceptable behavior by human standards and that you will be punished.
Pick up your dead friend.
In the ice and snow further north, Chiron ships have landed.
Oh boy.
While inside the main ship,
Idiot! Evil plan has failed us again.
Again.
Our soldiers couldn't even defend themselves.
Sir, if you'd only listen to...
Shut up, Grell. I say that you should have had no trouble in capturing the protoculture chamber.
Stop arguing, Azonia! Grell, I want you to listen, understand me?
Sir, I'm listening.
Excellent, because my reputation is at stake.
Reputation.
You know how to handle your soldiers. God.
Stop it, Azonia. Now listen,
Really?
I'm going after that protoculture machine myself.
That's right. My man is like, fuck this.
This is starting to get good.
My man can't stay out of his way. Like, not out of his way. He can't stay out of the action. He's got to be in there.
Slowly now. Easy. Easy.
Okay, so here's my question. If we got the same physiology as the Zentradi, could we make a Micronian a Zentradi big? Like, big 'em up?
It's Min-May.
Oh, look, Min-May. Isn't that your friend, Captain Hunter?
Yes.
Excuse me, Captain Hunter. I'm the mayor. Is anything the matter?
Yes, sir, there is.
Yeah, there's been a lot of problems here, Mr. Mayor. Where the hell have you been?
Yes, I'm sure you do know what this particular machine is for, sir. And that's just one reason why I need your help in this. This protoculture chamber must be properly protected. Misuse of the chamber would be disastrous.
But what can I do?
We must all cooperate to protect the protoculture chamber. You must do your part.
Then tell all the facts.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This isn't just military business, it's everyone's, Captain, because what you're talking about is the Zentradi's right to change back into giants whenever they want. If you think I'm kidding, you're a bigger fool than I ever dreamed possible, Captain. And I'm sure that most of the people in this city would agree with me on this. Isn't that right?
Hey, Kyle, I got 2 words for you, and the first one's fuck. The second one's off, everybody. Spoiler alert.
Listen now. When they take away your right to use the protoculture chamber, it's the first step toward martial law.
Oh my God, Kyle, speaking of martial law.
Now, isn't it better to have this machine secure from people who would use it against you than to endanger the whole city?
All of your lies are making me sick to my stomach.
Kyle, shut the fuck up, man.
We're not gonna take this anymore.
You see, these people mean business, Captain.
I've heard enough, okay?
All right. How about this? Don't call us if you need anything.
This is your last warning. Leave here now! Leave here now!
So this is your peaceful demonstration, Kyle, that incited a mob?
Rick!
Oh my God, these two. You know what? Get together. Get together and watch whatever it is you think you're going to have burn. Because there's no way the light switch flicks off from insufferable to sufferable with those two if they get together.
We must capture the protoculture chamber.
Ooh, Chiron with a new one.
later that...
Meanwhile, at Epcot Center.
Will it be safe?
Huh?
Nothing.
Is something bothering you, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, you two.
I only hope we did the right thing.
A lot of friendly Zentradi citizens live here. They'd help us, you know.
I hope you're right.
Don't worry.
Yeah, Kyle, you've got your finger on the pulse of society. You always have.
There's nothing to worry about. Trust me.
Yeah.
Just remember, Kyle's the person that told Min-May to keep singing to a stadium full of people while an attack was going on. My man has a different view of reality.
Remember our mission. Fight to the end. Find the protoculture chamber, for no matter what the sacrifice, it is for a greater cause than life itself.
They're gonna tear this place apart.
By the way, we see 3,000 here, and wait till you see our lighting system. Open the curtain, Pops, and hit the main spots.
Sure thing, Mr. Mayor.
Sure thing, Mr. Mayor. My name's Pops. I'm the stage manager.
Don't feel like singing.
And why not?
Because I don't feel this place is safe with the protoculture chamber here, and because of what you did to Captain Hunter.
Because you're a huge dickhead.
You make it sound like it's a lot more than that, Min-May. We're in no danger here, and it didn't hurt your flyboy to have his feathers ruffled.
God, what if they had like a quality control expert on Kyle's dialogue, and they were like, no, this is too nice. Prick it up.
Quick, let's get outside!
Quick, let's get outside. Yep. There go your guardians. Chiron coming in hot.
Fears have come to pass.
Look!
Almost immediately, everybody. As you watch your population get slazered.
In the SDF-1 Conference Center.
Oh, there they are.
I want to commend you for using good judgment in a very difficult situation. Exodor?
I have finished my research on the relationship between protoculture and the Zentradi.
New Detroit is gone.
They were developed by the Robotech masters for the sole purpose of fighting.
The masters created Zentradi and humans, or just Zentradi?
Just after discovering robotechnology, they decided to develop an intergalactic police force to protect themselves from any hostile alien life forms. A race of giants was created solely for the purpose of fighting to keep the peace.
Really?
Incorrect programming combined with their physical size proved to be a problem. Soon they began fighting among themselves.
Really?
If they had been originally programmed with feelings and emotions, such as love, trust, and empathy, the fighting and destruction that ensued would probably not have taken place. Great Robotech civilization collapsed, caught in the crossfire of the fighting giants they had created.
Interesting.
Excellent, Admiral.
Thank you, Exodor. And now, if there are no questions...
He's a good student.
The next piece of business.
The next piece of business is, meanwhile, in New Detroit.
All battle pods converge on my signal immediately!
Of course, he's like right there.
What have I done?
Oh, good.
They've overrun our position and they're heading your way.
This could be it.
Could be? It's exactly it. Oh, they're just tearing them open and pulling the humans out. That was a good shot, interspersed between some very shoddy animation. Oh, is that my guy coming in? That's my guy coming in.
I, for one, am quite impressed that you know so much about our race.
I assume he taught you.
Well then, Exodor, can you explain why our genetic structures are identical?
A coincidence of genetic engineering.
Huh?
Please explain.
May have had an influence on your predecessors, but they were definitely not protocultured.
A coincidence? Exodor, the odds on that are 1,000,000,000,000,000 to 1.
Whew.
Woo! Lisa likes that number talk. Woo!
So the truth is, although our races are similar, they are not the same. My race was protoculturally devoid of everything.
No.
My people evolved as toys for our creators, the Robotech masters, toys of destruction.
It's handshaking. That was really cool. Cool little moment there. I really like Exodor.
Genetically programmed for fighting. It's pretty sad.
If you ask me, it sounds a lot like us.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Lisa, that's not fair.
Isn't it?
Zentradi warships attacked New Detroit.
When was it?
Their communication signal was lost about 10 minutes ago, and their phone lines were cut.
You know, I knew something terrible like this was going to happen.
Yeah, because Kyle was involved. Kyle has 100% success rate for shitty outcomes. He's like literally the expert for shitty that you go to.
Many of your people supported peace from the start, and most still do.
I agree that many want it. It's just that I now worry about those who still want to fight. There never seems to be a solution to the problem of war.
How true.
War never changes.
I can't believe that this has happened.
Rick, you said it was going to happen.
It was my job to secure the protoculture chamber. But I let Kyle and those people influence me, and now...
They ran you out of town. That's a different thing than influence you.
Come on!
Hurry, Kyle, they could be coming back!
I'm doing the best I can!
My shitty six-wheeled car doesn't work. Ugh.
Come on, Min-May, hurry up and get in! Min-May? Min-May, I said get in! Now hurry up, Min-May!
Kyle, shut the fuck up.
And as his army grows larger and larger, Chiron celebrates.
With some high C. Bring me another 100 gallons of tequila.
Okay, I'm getting in.
Huh? Minmay!
Jesus, he could spot her from 100 miles. Minmay, there's a disturbance in the force. It's Minmay.
We're late now!
Hello? Hey, wait a minute!
Are you fucking kidding me?
Minmay. Turn around, Minmay!
Goodbye, Rick.
Yes, Rick.
Wonder why they didn't stop.
Because Kyle hates you and Minmay can't speak up.
When will all of this be over?
No species ever turned its back on war.
Cool callback there to that.
We were developed as toys for our creators, the Robotech masters. We are toys of destruction.
We are toys.
Next time on Robotech, Chiron succeeds in capturing Minmay and Kyle.
No shit. I shouldn't be watching this. Color me intrigued, because Kyle is in the clutches of the Zentradi. Giggle, giggle. Friends, we just got done watching Robotech, episode 31, Chiron's Revenge, and the only thing left to do is to talk about it. All right, everyone, just got done watching Robotech, episode 31, Chiron's Revenge. I thought this was they're starting to build the story back up, everybody, and I'm really enjoying it, and they're giving us brand new kind of, places to go with Chiron's kind of involvement, his promise to make the Micronian Zentradi back to their full-grown Zentradi. Really, really good stuff. I'm really interested in this kind of hinted at relationship between Azonia and Chiron. I think that's interesting for this reason. They're two that kind of held out against Chiron. Azonia helped during the battle at Force of Arms. Chiron didn't hurt during the battle of Force of Arms. The thing about the two of them is they're still fully grown Zentradi. They haven't kind of been assimilated into the culture or, fallen. I mean, Chiron did make a comment one time when he saw Minmay. He said something like, pretty little thing, or something like that. But he kind of brushed it off and got past it. The thing that I think is interesting is it looks like they're romantically involved, Chiron and Azonia, which is cool. I think that's a cool kind of pairing anyway. But what it really means is here's two Zentradi who, outside of the influence of Minmay, or at the very least, not under the same level of influence of Minmay and pop culture and stuff like that, elected to begin some type of physical romantic relationship. That's like against everything the Zentradi did prior to their involvement with the Micronians. So whether or not they're truly influenced by like Minmay or the Kiss, they've been changed, which is a really cool little monkey wrench to throw into everything. So it lends you to believe, Azonia was a fleet commander. I mean, she took over for Bretai whenever Bretai was recalled by Dolza. So, she outranks Chiron because Chiron seems to be, well, she's like a fleet commander. Chiron's just like his battalion commander, it looks like, his little group that he previously, I don't know what he has now. But, it's a cool, Chiron's always been a cool character. Adding in this kind of like, almost like a guerrilla warfare, terrorist type of thing that they have going on with these smaller groups of Zentradi, he's getting them all together and basically reforming, at the very least, a ground army of Zentradi, which could wreak a shitload of havoc, provided he has enough actual kind of like military assets to put in guns and pods and things like that, which it looks like he has enough. Now, I will say this, I'll get back to that in a second, but again, I think the progression of this storyline is built upon the pod. That was the central figure of the central kind of item of this entire thing was the rogue proto-culture pod or tube or container or whatever that could make you back into Zentradi. It showed us the Allies' kind of acceptance or willingness to continue working together and working hand in hand, global kind of going out of his way to really understand the history of the Zentradi and the Robotech masters, kind of like the respect that Exodor showed to him too. Like, you really have gone out of your way to learn about our culture. See, at first I thought that Exodor had talked to him about it, But no, it must have been something that, I'm assuming Exeter provided him with the materials about their history, and Global independently kind of studied up on all that stuff. So it's a really cool kind of situation to be in. These episodes really seem fast, though. They seem even faster than what we had before. So we couldn't get a whole lot done other than the tension that was brought up about by the pod, whether it be like the broad strokes story implications of the pod, the chamber. I keep calling it a pod. Of the Zentradi grower, the chamber, and then also of this continuing horseshit between Kyle, Rick, and Min-May. Now, I said in my last, and when we were doing Viva Miria in episode 30, I said I've become more interested in the love triangles and the dogfighting. That remains the case. I love the fighting. I love the tactical, the battles and stuff. I shouldn't say the fighting. I should say like the war, the overall story of the war. I enjoy quite a bit. But the love triangle stuff I find fascinating just because, as crazy as it seems, when you look and you're like, why is Min-May still with Kyle? Why doesn't she just walk away? Why doesn't she say, hey, you know what, dude? I don't care if you're my cousin or whatever or not. Fuck you. I am out of here. Well, how many times in real life outside of Robotech, outside of TV, have you and I seen somebody and said, why are they with them? Does that makes no fucking sense to me. Why are they with them? It blows your mind. Well, that's what we've got here, and it's a reflection of real life, which is so funny to me because I mean, this show, Robotech, goes. Obviously, we have a target audience in the '80s of young North American kids that watching the cartoon. And originally, with Macross, you all have told me, it was geared so they could get younger audiences in Japan, but it also had like the adult kind of hook in too, because it was, more adult themes. And so, this was taken though and geared specific because North American audiences didn't look at cartoons the same way back then. They looked at them as kid stuff. That's it. You couldn't have anything that, adults would go to the movies to see or anything like that. So with all that being said, I find it fascinating to me. I mean, utterly fascinating that the creatives in charge of cobbling together Robotech from the three properties absolutely knew their audience and who was going to be in the average age of their audience member was going to be, fill in the blank, 8 to 12 or whatever. You're basically looking at a preteen North American crowd that you are ready to teach about war, not just war and battles, like, yay, G.I. Joe battles, there's a parachute. You're teaching them about war where there's absolutely visual representation of casualties. Step one. Step two, you introduce a love dynamic initially with Rick and Min-May, and then you throw in Kyle and Lisa later on in the thing, Max and Miria, having a kid. So you have the relationship thing thrown in there. And then they double down on the war and say, hey, you like war and fighting? Oh, yeah, the Veritechs are awesome. We've talked about this. They killed Roy. Oh, whoa. No, okay, well, we lost somebody, but the fighting's still great. Oh, you think the fighting's still great? Okay, they killed Ben. And so the kids watching this will be like, oh my God, I don't want anybody else to die. What if Max is next? I've made this same statement before, but it's very warranted. And now you have this further development that the creatives are throwing on the kids of these characters, that the love triangle. You have, the procreation between Max and Miria that needs to be a theme, I just think it's absolutely amazing to me that so many of these things, like way back when I started this line of thought, I said, why are they with them? This almost like preps you for that, It's like if I had watched this as a kid and then gone on to say that I've said several times in my adult life, why are they with them? I would literally be able to say, this reminds me of Kyle and Min-May. Why the fuck are they together? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's so funny. It's so interesting to me that this was like the bent of the creatives, that it just, every instance and example of it is utterly fascinating. It's just so cool that they were like, you know what? No, let's go with it. It's not easy, but they could have edited around some of that stuff. They didn't have to put in some of those things. They didn't have to put in so much Kyle and so much Min-May. They could have gotten their point across and not really had to get into, why are they with them type of moments, but they did. And it makes the audience, even a kid, question, my God, why is Min-May like putting up with this? He is such a jerk. And I almost think in a weird way, you're given archetypes for potential dating partners in the future. So if I'm a kid and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm never getting involved with anybody like Kyle. That immediate red flag, I'm out. Min May, nope, I'm out. You find personality types, even as a kid, I think, that you liked. And I just think it's a fascinating study. I swear, some psychology student somewhere should really kind of interview Gen X kids that are alive now that saw Robotech and put that into I would read the shit out of that study. I'd watch the documentary on that. That would be so fucking fascinating to me. If you had like a panel of like 20 Gen Xers who were like, yeah, I watched Robotech and that kept me I got out of a really bad relationship because I realized I was dating Kyle. I would love to hear shit like that. I think that is so funny. Now, the last thing I'll say before we go is, speaking about Kyle, my favorite, I try not to watch the bumpers at the end because they ruin things, but I started doing something in this one and it started running and I was listening to it and Patreon saw, but it says, and again, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, then just end it here because I saw this one thing. It said, Chiron captures Kyle and Min May. And friends, I had such a moment of absolute glee. I thought, Kyle's not going to last a second with Chiron. Chiron's going to step on him or kill. I know that it's so disgusting to talk about like murder like that. I don't mean it. But I mean, it's just like, you're literally putting Kyle, who can't keep his fucking mouth shut, up against maybe the craziest, most violent guy that we have on the enemy side. Gimme. And it's called Heartbreak. Or Broken Heart. It's called Broken Heart. Oh, I can't wait, friends. Before we get to that one, though, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, you'll be alerted next time we go live with Robotech or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we watch that you would like to see early or in its full-length version, link to the Patreon's in the description, my friends. I kept thinking about Kyle. Oh boy, oh boy. But all that is then, and this is now. And now it's time to say goodbye. And friends, you know where we're saying goodbye from? For the first time ever, we're saying goodbye from the outro bumper. As we sit there, and at least I do, if we're all together, you all see me rubbing my hands together with a big smile on my face when the narrator, with a big smile on my face when the narrator says, Chiron has captured Kyle and Min May. And you look over, and I'm very happy. Friends, until we hit that glorious episode of Broken Heart, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.